So, hello, Neil. If you know Broad Street Review, you probably know me and Neil. I am Alaina, Broad Street Review's editor. Neil, do you want to introduce yourself?
Everybody, I am Neil Bardhan. I'm the executive director at Broad Street Review.
And as if you're here on this page of Broad Street Review, we know you know that we've got a new campaign going, and we thought it might be fun to kind of jump on and talk about it a little bit, so you can hear directly from us in a fresh way.
Mhm.
So let's talk about this a little bit. Um, Neil, I want to ask you, we're talking with folks in the industry, both in journalism and in the arts sector. We're talking to readers. And what is something that you find is a persistent misconception about Broad Street Review, or maybe something that you wish more people knew about Broad Street Review?
Great question. There's a lot of misconceptions that I can tackle. And one of the most frequent ones is about the structure and infrastructure that Broad Street Review
Hmm.
has. And the short version that I've started using is we don't even own a
Nope.
pencil, let alone a desk, right? We don't pay rent to office space. We're all freelancers working remotely, working exclusively digitally. I say exclusively, but every now and then we see each other in person.
We love it.
Um,
Yeah.
and and that's a different setup than a lot of other groups have.
Yeah. I very wholeheartedly second that. I feel like I often talk with people or get emails from people who obviously think that we have like a whole newsroom of writers that we can assign, and that just is not the case. Like, yes, we have an incredible group of writers. I have about 300 writers on my list right now at Broad Street Review. I work with maybe 60 to 70 of them in a given year, but they are all freelancers. We all work remotely. I, as BSR's editor in chief, I am a gig worker. This is part time, which is also true of you.
Correct. Yeah. Thank you. That actually brings me to another question, which is, can you address something that comes up as well in the understanding of how we work, which is about the speed
Oh.
of how BSR articles come into being?
Yeah, yeah. So I get a lot of invitations and my writers get a lot of invitations for coverage with not very much notice. Maybe you have a show coming up on Friday or Saturday. We get an email on Wednesday saying, "Hey, we would love for Broad Street Review to come cover our show." And so the reality is partly because our team is so small, we actually have what, like 6 or 7 core team members, and only two of us, me and our associate editor, Kyle V. Hiller, are the ones working on editorial. That means everything is really tightly organized in advance. And that means when folks want BSR coverage, we need a runway for that. We need more notice. We are happy to consider coverage requests. But part of the nature of working on a very small team means that we don't have a lot of flexibility as far as timing. So that's always something that I'm trying to get across for folks.
Great. Thank you. My big question to you is, what makes BSR special in the Philadelphia media world?
Sure. So I would say the first big one is that we focus on arts and culture, which is pretty obvious, and we're really one of the only ones left doing that. There are some other really interesting ones in the space. I mean, you've got Streets Department from Conrad Benner. Love what he's doing there about street and public art. We saw just last year, very sadly, the closure of Art Blog, another venerable Philly arts outlet. So we're really proud to be one of the few that are still out there doing interdisciplinary professional coverage that's focused on arts and culture in Philadelphia. But underneath that, what I want folks to know is that BSR stands out because our coverage focuses on cultural criticism. You can come to Broad Street Review and you're not only getting a roundup of what you might want to go see or previews of things. We're really proud to have that coverage. You also can hear from some of the best critics in the region who are telling you honestly their take on the shows and helping us answer a lot of really important questions about them. And we're really proud to do that work. And honestly, that review coverage is what is getting so rare, not just in the Philly market, but generally.
Love that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I want to dive a little bit more specifically into the campaign we have going on right now. And so I would love to know from you, what is one of the hardest things about fundraising?
One of the hardest things about
Yeah.
fundraising is getting in front of people's eyes. Everybody has so much going on these days, particularly when it comes to their digital
Mhm.
lives, right? Alaina, I haven't seen your inbox. You haven't seen
I
mine,
don't wanna see
but I
it.
think we can
I don't
get a
wanna see it.
right. We can get a good
I have
sense,
my own.
and that's just of the stuff that we're expecting. That's of the stuff that we can quickly act
Yeah.
on, quickly reply to, right? Um, so often BSR comes in a way or at a time that people may be able to say, "Oh, I'll take a peek at that later," and so our message, we need it to stand out.
I I feel that so much, and it's so hard to feel that we're always just buried and inundated all the time, both as
Yeah,
professionals, we're inundated personally. So every time we do have a new donor or when we hear from someone new who's found BSR, it's such a wonderful little lift for our team, that sort of feeling like that it's broken through and someone is like, "Yes, I hear you. Yes, I value you." I can't tell you how much that means to our team.
folks who leave a nice comment in addition to their
Yeah.
donation, those make the rounds and also
Yes,
just really brighten our day. So a couple kind words go really far. Let me
we
tell you,
love it. I
folks.
love to get that, Slack notification from Neil, and it's something nice that someone has said about our
Exactly.
coverage.
Exactly.
Um, when I when I think about this, do you have a friend there, Neil? Looks like,
Small friend. Yes.
um, one thing that's so hard is how vulnerable that work is of fundraising. Like, on the one hand, I'm plugging in, doing my job as a journalist, but then making sure that we can have funding for this work to continue in future, it feels really vulnerable and difficult to come and just say to people, "Hey, we don't operate without your help." And especially in this sort of like I've been a gig worker for almost 20 years with this really hyper independent mindset. Like if I just grind hard enough, I can do it. And that's just not reality. So I really have to be able to sit down and um think about, how I can be honest with others about what my needs are. And that's part of what makes these conversations difficult, but like also really rewarding when we do hear from readers and they're like, "Yes, we do value you."
Exactly. Exactly. It's the kind words are directly going to the desks of senior
Yes.
staff,
Yes.
right? Yeah. Yeah. And to that point, right, we don't have a team of grant writers. We don't have
But we have no
a
development
whole set
staff.
of
No.
correct, correct. We are folks here looking at it, and we have a lot of things going on, and it makes it quite challenging, particularly in this day and age when competition for grants is very fierce, and the sources for those grants are shifting
Mhm.
radically every week. It feels like sometimes, and to that point, that's part of why it's so important for readers to give.
Yeah. Anything else you wanna know?
Um, what what does BSR have to look forward to in our future?
Oh. Well, I am excited because we have our 4th annual BSR Book Week coming up in May, and we already are locking in some really exciting guests for our panel this year. We're gonna be sending out those announcements to our donors first. So anyone who's joining up as a friend of BSR or a local media champion, you're gonna get first word of who's joining us. It's very exciting, and we have a great roster of book reviews coming up for you and giveaways and stuff like that. So we're looking forward to that to kick off the summer. Um, and and I guess real quick, Neil, since I mentioned it, do you want to say for folks what when we say a friend of BSR, what do we mean when we say local media champion? What are we talking about?
Sure, happy to describe that. So, Friends of BSR are people who give $60 a year or more, and that can be $5 a month for
Mhm,
12 months. That can be $60 all in one go
mhm,
today. You're more than welcome to do that via our website. So that's the Friends of BSR level. That gets you exclusive insights from us occasionally, invitations, real world access to things, giveaways, discounts, and so forth. We're always partnering with different organizations on things of that
yeah,
nature, so you can enjoy those. And then there's the local media champions level, which is $240 a year or $20
Mhm.
a month.
In honor of our
And
20 years.
similarly, there's
Yeah.
exactly. That's exclusive access, additional information from us, and ways to engage with not just you, Alaina, and me, Neil, but
Yeah.
the writers, the other staff members, and partner organizations as
Yeah.
well.
Cool. Okay, thank you. And currently, right now, we're running for the month of March what we're calling our Readers Decide campaign, which is basically just what it sounds like. We're in a funding crunch for a couple different reasons, which are, not specific only to our organization. A lot of us are feeling the squeeze in the cultural sector right now, and we need a boost this month. So we're calling it our Readers Decide campaign because our readers literally can decide if we can continue our coverage at its current level. So we are just really encouraging folks to jump in and make a one-time gift this month to help us meet a $10,000 goal for the month of March. Um, so yeah,
Can I throw
yeah.
some numbers your way? This is my not even back of the envelope. This is all mental math. So bear with me, folks. It's that if every subscriber to our
Mhm.
mailing list, we know not every reader subscribes to our
Sure.
mailing
Yeah,
list, even, if every email subscriber gave us $2 today, we would surpass our goal. That's easy,
yeah,
right? $2 from everybody on our
yeah,
email list. That would be
yeah.
phenomenal, right? That would have us safe through early summer. If every reader of the mailing list gave us $20, that would fund us
Yeah.
for the year.
Wow.
That's before we even get into grants that we've been applying for, other foundational support that kind of comes in. Um, that would be phenomenal for every reader to give $20. We would love that. But we also know that not everybody can for
Yeah,
any number of
totally. Yeah,
reasons, right? And that's part of why it's so important for us to also have those sustaining those $5 a month donations, $10 a
yeah.
month donations. But the one time donation is what we're looking for today. So if you're somebody who can give us $20 today, that would be phenomenal. If you can give us $50 today, phenomenal. If you want to just go ahead and become that local media champion, $240 today, and look forward to those exciting benefits for the next 12 months.
And
And
I wanna say
um,
huge thanks to the folks who have joined up since we started.
yes,
We Huge thanks to, our local media champions who have joined over the past year since we started the program, and also new ones from just in the past week. We love you.
yeah,
Thank you for
yeah,
being here.
yeah, I
We are
really,
really excited to talk with you further.
yeah, greatly appreciate that.
Um, let's get wrapped up, but really quick, I wanna ask you, one more question, which is, like, you asked me what I'm looking forward to. What's your wildest dream for BSR? Like, if you dreamed really big.
If I dream really big, it's a big fancy office with a lot of desks, a lot of pencils. No, my dream is that we get to have some of us staff members on full
Exactly.
time. That would do
Yes.
wonders for the reader, the audience experience, as well as for those of us on the
Yeah.
working side. It would be hugely beneficial to our
Mhm.
writers
Mhm.
to kind of always have somebody
Yep.
on call, and just for all of us to have that knowledge of stability. I think that would do a great
Yeah,
thing.
I 100% agree with you. If I could work full time for BSR instead of also having to take on other gigs while I do this work, it would be transformative for our team, for the writers, and for the coverage that we can offer. But we're in this spot now where we need to, get, through the spring. That's often the deal with nonprofit life, especially nonprofit arts media. We take it a day at a time, month at a time, year at a time. We are kind of building the plane as we fly in digital media. But we've been here for 20 years, and we think that we can be here for another 20, but we'll need some more support from our readers.
Exactly. So, folks, if you've listened to us today, please help us out in whatever way you can. And maybe that's a donation, maybe that's forwarding a link to your
Yeah, boost
friends,
the
or
campaign.
talking to your
Yeah,
colleagues. But we want to make sure that people in the Philadelphia region, and beyond, know about what's going
yeah.
on.
Well, thanks for chatting with me.
Always.
It's always good to see you, and I'm sure we'll
Likewise.
we'll talk soon.
Sounds good. All right. Thanks, Elena.